Yeah.
I'm gonna have my husband give me the blow by blow on my phone.
You know what you're doing?
Heck yeah.
I'm out of practice. It's been over a year.
It's like riding a bicycle.
I'm not sure I can ride a bicycle right now.
You hear about that man? Was indicted. She was just arrested because she was a spy for the
Over in California,
Yeah.
Chinese spy.
for China.
What?
Chinese spy?
Huh?
They have the
Mayor
interview.
of California is a Chinese spy.
Is that right? Now, what accident happened out there by 481 yesterday over at Hill Cemeteries? Yesterday afternoon after work? Just
Truck out the back of that car. Nothing crazy.
okay. I'm leaving here. Fire truck is right behind me, so.
Call this meeting ordered, 6 p.m. in the city of Uvalde, Texas, regular city council meeting. City Hall Council Chambers at 101 East Main, Uvalde, Texas, 78801. Have the invocation by Kathleen Maxwell Ramby. Everybody can stand and remain standing for the Pledge of Allegiance.
Father, we just come to you tonight and we offer this evening up to you. And I just thank you that you are Lord over all. And so I ask that you give just wisdom, Lord, to each one speaking. I ask that you give the city council, Lord, just wisdom to hear. I just pray that, Father, every decision made, Lord, they would just consider what's in your heart and what's in your mind for Uvalde. And Lord, I just bless this city. I bless it to heal, Lord, especially the anniversary of this month. God, just do pray for your healing for our city, for the children, Father, for the adults, for the first responders that experience trauma. Father, for everyone in our city that has, Lord, their hearts have been hurt. And I thank you, God, that you are the healer of broken hearts and you're a God of peace. And I ask all of this in Jesus' name. Amen.
Amen. Thank you. I pledge allegiance
To the flag of the United States of America, to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Next up on the agenda is oath of office. Administer the oath of office to Rafael Arias for building official. I hand it over to you, sir.
Thank you, council. Stand right there. Right in front. I'm gonna raise your right hand and repeat after me. Ready? Ready. All right. I, Rafael Arias. I, Rafael Arias. Solemnly swear that I will. Faithfully execute the duties of the office of. Planning and Development. Building official of the city of Uvalde. State of Texas. And I will, to the best of my ability. Preserve, protect, and defend the Constitution and laws of the United States. And of this state. So help me God. Congratulations.
Congratulations and thank you.
Speech. Bro.
Citizens input. Mary Henson.
I was wondering if y'all could possibly consider doing a traffic study on Oak and Getty Street. If y'all have ever been down that street across where the furniture shop is, and then the office buildings and shops, if you park there because of all the cars parked there, I had to pull all the way out to the main Getty Street, all the way to my truck, the back of it. And I had to back up so I wouldn't get hit because you can't see. And maybe they can consider a traffic study on maybe getting a stoplight or something like that, because it is very dangerous. If y'all go, you go and check it out. You can see the high time of the day, it is covered with parked cars, and it's just that one stop.
Thank you.
Yeah, I'm gonna do another one.
Okay.
It's about the tornado warning sirens. I live on Laurel Street, and when they do the testing, I never hear it. I have called, for years, I have called, and all they tell me is, well, we're gonna do a warning, a test. And even with all of my windows open, I cannot hear it. And I know that we don't get very many tornadoes, but still, it's better to be safe than sorry. And I was told one time that they had turned down the volume because of the Dalton School, because they were complaining, and that doctor's office, they were complaining about it being too loud. So I was, wondering if y'all could look into that. Mary Henson.
Thank you.
I'll comment just real quick on that. There's not a siren at Dalton. It's gone at Dalton.
It's gone.
There's not one on that area.
Yeah.
There's one by Ruby's out that way. The sirens are actually,
Boy, I can hear all the shooting from dove season over at your dad's property and stuff like that. I can hear all of it. The warning signal, not at all.
the sirens are designed for when you're outside, and you can hear them when you're outside. But if you're inside, it's not designed to be able to hear it.
Go outside and I still can't hear 'em.
Okay, we can look into that. Thank you. George Rodriguez and J.M. Gonzalez, I assume you want to talk when your item comes up on the agenda? You don't want to wait, you want to talk when it comes up? Okay. And J.M. Gonzalez? Gonzalez? You want to wait? Okay, thank you. Citizens agenda, or consent agenda. All consent agenda items are considered routine by city council and be enacted by one motion. There will be no separate discussion of these items unless a council member requests an item to be removed and considered separately. Does anyone request an agenda item to be removed and considered separately? All right, we'll move on. Item 6A, consider the minutes of April 28, 2026 regular city council meeting. And item 6B, consider payment of bills over $5,000 from April 25th, 2026 through May 8th, 2026.
Motion approved.
I have a motion from Ernest Santos and a second from Mr. McLaughlin. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those against, same sign. Passes. Public hearing on zoning matters, case file 0826PZ. Consider request of TDG Car Wash LLC applicant. They are requesting a rezone from B3 downtown business to B2 general highway business to remodel a stall into a drive-through car wash. The address is 200 West Main Street, NCB 49 Old Town Subdivision, Block 3, Lot 69A, 77-1 Car Wash, City of Uvalde, Uvalde, Texas. And we'll have staff comments.
Yes, good evening, Mayor Pro Tem, council, and citizens and tenants. So this required a total of 12 letters sent out. Out of that, 3 were unclaimed, 2 letters were returned back, returned to sender. We didn't receive anything against the change. It is historically under historic B3. In order for them to make the changes, we had to revert it back to highway business. Therefore, the property is now conforming, and they can move forward with those additions and those changes they want to make to that stall.
Perfect. We'll open a public hearing at 6:08. If anyone would like to come up and speak on this item? We'll close the public hearing at 6:08 and reconvene for discussion and decision on application. Is there any discussion on this application?
Second.
Motion approved by Commissioner McLaughlin and seconded by Mr. Santos. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? Motion passes. Case file 09-26BZ, consider request of George Ramirez Rodriguez and Alma Yolanda Garcia applicants. They're requesting a rezone from residential 1 single family to residential 2B, a 3 to 4 plex to build a duplex, bringing the total dwellings to 4. The address is 525 North Camp Street, NCB 18, England Division, Block 15, Lot 15A. City of Uvalde, Uvalde County, Texas. Staff comments.
Yes, so this one. Make sure I got the right one. So this, a total of 20 letters were sent out. Out of those 20, we did receive, we have 1 unclaimed, 2 returned to sender. And we got a total of 17 that were received and claimed. So on this case, it did go through. The planning and zoning, they only had one concern, which was the unimproved alley entrance through the back, which comes off of Leona, and it cuts through, and it comes out on, up on Studer. That was the only request. The property owner is here. He understands. That was explained to him as well. I believe y'all have a floor plan in your possession. Also, a letter did receive, a letter come back from one of the property owners with the same concerns that we had,
One concern?
which was a concern about the unimproved alley. And I believe you have a copy of that letter as well.
And it passed 6-0 at
Correct, yes.
Could you explain that concern a little more? Does that, was any action taken with regard to that concern, concerning his access to that alley? Is it not allowed, or it is allowed, or what?
Okay, yes. Yes, Councilman Mims. So that, it is allowed. So the alley does, like I said, it comes in. He does have the ability to have access to it. Currently, there are 2 structures in the front, which limit anyone from cutting across the property. It is a deep property, so they have the ability to come through the alley. Using the alley, again, that was a concern because it's unimproved. Some of it is dirt, some of it is base material, and the property owner knows that he will make an entrance to the back, to the duplexes in the back portion of the property.
All right, we'll open a public hearing at 6:11. Mr. Rodriguez, did you want to speak?
So, yes, one of the concerns was about the alley access. And just want to reiterate, with my contractor, we looked into and we want to definitely go by, right, what the city is requiring for the structure and for the size of the property. But as far as the alley entrance, I've lived there for 8 to 9 years, right, and never had any issues. I have an access on the back end, and really never had any issues going in and out with wet or dry conditions, right. Also along that alley, there's also other triplexes and apartments use the same entry, you know, from Anglin side and from also, Leona side as well. So, I mean, for the 8 years that I've been there at that property, I mean, I've used it, you know, quite a bit as well. Pulled in a trailer in there, and with my contractor, we've even offered, you know, we could add in some caliche in that portion to, if it needs any improvement. But I mean, I've, over the years, never had that issue. Had to do anything with it. So, as far as, you know, what the structure, size, layout, I mean, gives us, you know, the required distance front to back to front, and, you know, on the sides.
Any other comments, public comments?
The only thing that we have, Mayor, and I think it was pointed out to Mr. Rodriguez, is what he's proposing to build does fit and it meets the setback requirements as proposed. We just want to make sure that whenever before you come in and for the permit, let's make sure that whatever you're proposing, you get with our building officials and code officials so that we make sure that what we are approving tonight fits what you're ultimately proposing to build.
Thank you.
Any other public comments? Close the hearing at 6:14. Reconvene meeting for discussion and decision on application.
Mayor, I do have a question for our city manager. In regards to that alley, obviously it's being used quite a bit. I'm hoping that that's on our street location, and if not, perhaps maybe we can put it in. Obviously, we're gonna need to start doing some work there.
And we will, and we'll take a look at it. About a third of it has pavement on it. I'm gonna say the northern 2/3, maybe it'll be 3/4 of it, it's just a caliche base, weather, improved, portion of the road. Ultimately, depending on the use and how well these apartments are kept, it may require some improvements in the future. We'll keep track of it and see what all it takes.
Motion to approve?
Motion approved by Councilman Santos, second by Council Lady Medina. All those in favor?
Aye.
All those opposed?
Abstain.
Thank you. We have one abstention. Motion passed. Item 7C, case file 1026PZ, consider request of Juan M. and Janie Gonzalez applicants. They're requesting a rezone from residential 1 single family to commercial 3 general highway. The address is 309 South Highway 83, NCB 131, Southern Heights subdivision, Block 3, Lot 9B, 10B, 11A, and 12A, City of Uvalde, Uvalde County, Texas. Staff comments.
Yes, good evening, Mayor Pro Tem, Council. So this, again, also required 14 letters to be sent out. Out of those 14, we received 11. And then we've got 4 or 5 that were unclaimed, returned back to sender, I'm sorry. So that was 15. And we did get 2 letters in favor of the zone change. The property is off highway frontage, off Highway 83, and that will suit his needs. The property owner is here if you have any questions. And it did pass, yes, correct.
Unanimously.
Yes.
Any other staff comments? Open the public hearing at 6:16. Ms. Gonzalez, Mr. Gonzalez, you want to speak on this?
I'm Juan M. Gonzalez, owner of that property on Oak Ridge Highway, and that property right there used to be commercial, but for some reason we changed it to residential. And now things have changed, so we would like to change it again to commercial property again. So that's just mainly the request for that property.
All right, thank you, sir.
You're welcome.
Have any other public comments on this item? Close the hearing at 6:17. Reconvene meeting for discussion and decision on application.
Motion to approve.
Second?
Motion approved by Councilman McLaughlin and second by Councilman Santos. All those in favor, say aye.
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 All those opposed? Motion passes. Next, item 8, discussion. Discussion regarding study conducted by the Uvalde Police Department Problem-Oriented Policing Committee at North Camp Street and Leota Street intersection. It is all yours.
Good evening, Mayor Pro Tem, members of council. As discussed, we've been working on our problem-oriented policing initiative, which the last one was Operation Cool Front, which utilizes the SARA model, scan, analyze, respond, and assess. This is a best practices model and something that we worked with the DOJ when we came over in how we address root cause issues in the community. What we did was we went back and looked at something that was brought up by a member of council, and we appreciate that because it was a shared sentiment. We need to reduce injury-related crashes. We need to address root cause issues, speeding, red lights, those types of things. And so we went to the data. Thankfully, TxDOT is a good partner of ours. There's also public information out there that we can look at years of data. We looked at 6 years of data. And in looking at from 2020 to 2026, we have quite a bit of crashes. A lot of them happen along TxDOT intersections or TxDOT regulated intersections. But we did also note that there were some crashes within the community in certain areas that we could address. So we took a look at one of those intersections. We took a look at other manners in which to address high visibility enforcement, running traffic stops, things like that. You know that we can't put a police officer at every intersection for 24/7. So we had to look at innovative ideas. There are some treatment areas that we looked at with engineering, and we feel that engineering could address some of the root cause issues. So we found a couple of treatment areas, one that we've asked our partner at TxDOT to assist us with. And if you're pulling out of HEB, out there by the gas pumps, right next to the barbecue area, that's one of the high crash areas. So, and in the photo here, you can actually see this is the issue. It's literally in Google Maps. This is a single lane of traffic. Even in this aerial photo, there's two cars stacked up next to each other. Right there at Southwood and East Main, we've asked TxDOT to address this through engineering. They have tentatively agreed to assist us with this intersection, and all we need is some striping. That's what we've asked for. As of today, they're still working on addressing that. They've agreed to do it. So we looked at what intersection can we pick as the city of Uvalde and address not one problem, but multiple problems. So we found another one. We looked at East Leona, and if you've ever driven down East Leona or you've gone down North Camp, you know there's a little bump there, and you can get a pretty good run-in start in that area. So everybody's looking like, I've driven down that road, right? And we looked at 6 years of data. We found that this was one of our hotspots for crashes. We did a traffic survey with our JMAR, and to get a traffic count, there's different methods that we can use to treat it. If it's a speed-related issue, then we can do enforcement. You'll see the fastest speed there was calculated at 58 miles an hour. That is thanks to the Uvalde Police Department. We do run real fast to see if the machine is working. We were the only ones that sped down that road. So that 58 mile an hour read was to test the JMAR. So enforcement, it's only 3%. So the crashes that are occurring there are not speed related. We feel that they're intersection related based on that stop sign and the way that intersection is designed. We decided to address this through engineering, turning it from a two-way stop to a four-way stop, and assessing the data and seeing if that reduces some of it. The crashes that occurred here, over half of them were injury-related crashes, all over $1,000. So we felt that that would be a good treatment area that we could address. We met with our streets department. This is our proposal. Meeting with Mr. Cardenas. We felt that it's important to be transparent with the community and get their feedback and bring it up as a discussion item prior to implementing an ordinance to add the 2 stop signs there. So this is not an action item for today, but we do anticipate gathering feedback and moving forward with an ordinance to create a 4-way stop at that intersection. This would be our treatment area for our new initiative that our community-oriented policing community will.
How many accidents have we had there?
26
26.
in 6 years. So it's, on the scale of it, it doesn't seem like a lot when you look at the others. And I will say this. We recognize that between here, Main and Getty, and Ham, there's a lot of crashes. So we have worked with TxDOT. We've done enforcement in those areas. One of the problems that we identified is the timing cycles are off. We believe that that was caused by a lot of the big trucks that have damaged the lights over the time. One of the things that they did immediately to address that was they started rerouting large loads. I don't know if y'all have noticed that, but we've asked them to reroute as many of those heavy loads that were causing damage to the lights, and they have complied with that. So that is the larger impact area, but we wanted to keep our residents safe. So we picked this intersection because it's in the community. That's the gist of it, folks. So what we hope to do is, in the A of the SARA model, is to do an assessment, go back and look and see if the 4-way intersection model works. Not that we want to put 4-way intersections at every intersection out here, but we want to make sure that we have a target area that we can work on see if it reduces crashes, look at the data. We did look at another intersection over by where the old dog pound was as a possible second. Questions, comments, folks?
In regards to Wood Street,
Yes.
when you're saying that you're gonna engineer it, so you're gonna get TxDOT to help you stripe it,
Yes.
are we talking about just 2 lanes, or are we gonna stripe it to the point that we're gonna allow a separate vehicle on the right-hand side to be able to turn right?
This is a single lane.
Yes.
And the reason, and right now, the problem is people are using it as a
Right.
double. We've asked for the striping in order to allow the large vehicles to turn. We do have a few other areas off of 90 that are like that. They did agree that this was the best model. We also talked about the type of striping. They said that the heat transfer one that actually has some shimmer to it lasts longer than standard striping. That's what we've asked for, that heat transfer striping. I don't know what it's called. But that would be the best for this area. What ends up happening is you get a car that sits right at the intersection, and the right turn vehicle blindly turns, and we have intersection crashes. The majority of them are on this corner. So we feel that pushing it, making sure that people know this is actually just a single lane, not a double, will help reduce that. Yes, sir.
The reason, as you well know, that people try to make 2 lanes out of 1 is because nobody wants to get behind somebody who's trying to turn left.
Yes, and get stuck there.
Realizing that is a fairly short green light on HEB side and a real long red light.
That's the other end.
So could you also change the timing of that light?
Absolutely. And that's what we've asked TxDOT to do, is to do traffic studies of the lights from Main and Getty all the way to Ham.
Good.
Because, our main crash intersection's right outside this building. And for those of us who are leaving here tonight, you might get one car to turn left, and then you gotta wait for the whole light to cycle. And we know there's an issue there. We found that it was in their best interest to pay attention to us. They're on our committee now. And they've made just about every one of our meetings, because TxDOT has a vested interest in getting all that traffic down 90. But it also hurts commerce when we have these crashes. We do as much as we can with our enforcement, with our high visibility, parking the car in front of the Civic Center, those types of things. We know we can, change the numbers, but with their assistance, we can make a bigger impact, I think, on traffic safety.
In regards to enforcement, and I'm glad you're addressing that corner, because it's much needed.
Yes, sir.
But as far as in the past, have you all enforced traffic there at all? Are there any citations have been written, or anybody been pulled over
Very
because
few.
of that?
That's a tough one, because I looked at traffic citations numbers. That's a really tough intersection. Well, one of the things, speaking of which, that they've offered, and we've said yes to everything, is called a cheater light. And on the back end of the traffic light, when the lights are red, there's a white glowing light. So you don't have to have 2 officers on both sides to see whether the light was red or not. We can see that the light is red from the back side of the light. So we could put an officer here, and a lot of it is red light runners, because they're trying to beat the light. But you can be on any side of the intersection as a police officer, and if you see that white light on the back side, you know it's a red light. And so we've asked for that. They've tested them in San Antonio. They've offered that to us, and we said, yeah, we'll take it all. So keep letters to TxDOT would be helpful, getting those things done. Any other questions? And so, yeah, we put it as a discussion item to get community feedback as well, so they're happy to take calls at our streets department, the police department, city hall. If anyone has, we did ask partners at the media if they could notify the community that. But we haven't heard anything negative, so hopefully we'll move forward. Thank you.
Thank you, very informative.
Thank you, Chief.
Moving on. New business, consider proposed transfer of K-9 officer as a Griff or Grief?
It's Griff.
Griff to Sergeant Bruce Ramos upon retirement of Griff from service with the Uvalde Police Department. There he comes.
Mayor Pro Tem and members of council, once again, I want to introduce us to our most favorite K-9 partner and his handler. This is Sergeant Bruce Ramos. Griff is been with the police department going on 8 years, sir? Yes, sir, going on 8 years. He's served the Uvalde community as a sworn law enforcement canine officer. We had considered retiring Griff at age 10, which is about the average age. Griff is going to turn 10. The agency that was certifying him, unfortunately, the owner of the company passed, and he wasn't able to get recertified this year. If we had opted to recertify him, he would have to start all over from ground up through another academy, and we just felt it would be appropriate to allow our K-9 partner to retire. It's bittersweet for us. I'm a dog lover, even though Griff flirts with my dog daughter, which is highly inappropriate, but that bore no decision in why we're retiring him. But because Griff is technically owned by the city, we felt it appropriate. We've asked Sergeant Ramos, who is his partner, if he would assume care if the city allowed for him to assume care of Griff in retirement. Griff would be a retired police officer, always welcome at our department, more of our therapy dog, and he's always welcome. But we did list it as an action item. Sergeant Ramos, was there anything that you would like to ask council?
Thank you all for the opportunity. Let me be Griff's handler.
When would he retire? Today.
Yes.
And what are the plans to look at budgeting for another dog?
We haven't ruled it out. We don't have a K-9 program budgeted in this next fiscal year, but
Budget's just starting.
we are, Chief Delgado and I, yes.
So we've actually never had a budget line item for a K-9 officer. It's always come out of our general operating budget. We have in the past tried to get a line item specifically for our K-9 so we can see how much it actually cost us. So right now, we're gonna work to looking at seeing if we can establish a program like that. Because what it covers is overtime, it covers the cost of the care, the vet fees, and everything else that, and so we were never able to accurately track what the expenditures were for our K-9 program. Right now, we're gonna operate without a K-9, utilizing our partners with state and federal that have offered to step into that role for now. But we're not opposed to getting a new K-9 if that's something that will benefit the city.
Our partners have also used Griff.
Yes, absolutely. Griff has actually worked regional. People have called for him throughout the region, and he's gone to assist in the past, which, you know, that's the thing is we're trying to work with all of our partners on a better relationship than in the past, and it's actually benefiting us to assist just as much as we get assistance. Like I said, we're not opposed to it. We'd love to continue our K-9 program. It was just what we're doing now as we rebuild and we reevaluate everything. There was no accurate way to track what our expenditures were on our K-9 program. So I decided that we were going to go ahead and wait until we can figure out a good way to establish that.
So how would you, if you can't do it now, how can you do it tomorrow?
If we get with our finance department and our city manager and see if we can get a established budget line item, we can forecast as best we can to figure out a ballpark of what we will spend. And I would be very conservative moving forward. If we got to the point where we reached a point of utilizing probably 75% of whatever we budgeted, then we would start slowing down the program for the rest of the year. So we could actually do it without overstepping the amount of money that we would forecast. And then the next year, we'd be able to utilize that as a basis to what we're going to spend, an actual expenditure. So I think after 3 years, then we'd be very comfortable knowing what the cost is of that. Typically, and we've had offers already for dogs to be donated to us. Several organizations have reached out and said, hey, we have a dog that's already trained that we can donate to y'all. So that cost is not very expensive to get the dog. It's the maintenance and the overtime and the vet bills and the vehicle. Vehicles have to be specialized so that they have alarms so that if it gets too hot or the car will start, the air conditioner will turn on if it. So all those things have a cost, and it was never tracked in the past. And so that was kind of where we ran into.
So you know me, I'm gonna say again, you'll never know unless you do it.
And
So if you put it off for a year, we just technically just put it off for a year.
well, then
That's a good response.
we can look at it this year.
But Chief, so why are we doing away with it? If you have somebody that's willing to donate another dog, then why not just?
Because
pick
I
it
don't know
up?
what it has cost in the past, and so we're in the middle
You've
of our.
been with us how long?
I've been here as chief 2 years,
But you've been here how long?
3 years.
3 years, and we still don't know what it costs. And we've had a K-9 ever since? 3 years?
Accurately, I could not tell you what the program costs.
So we're only doing away with the K-9 program because we don't know what it's costing you?
Well, no, there's some other issues right now,
Okay.
so, for instance, Sergeant Ramos has recently become a sergeant, and so we're paying overtime to a sergeant at a sergeant's rate to come out and bring the dog for when he's called out. Well, efficiently, that's probably not the best thing to do. Well, he's the only one who is certified to be a canine handler. So when we look at the program today and we're paying twice as much to have a sergeant come out, it's really not in the best interest of the city and the community to have a sergeant to pay overtime for this.
I appreciate you being frugal, but how do you put a price to keeping our community safe? I mean, this is one of your tools.
Well, yes, this is one of our tools, but right now we do have partners that we utilize in our community
Okay.
to do the exact same job that Griff has been doing. There are several things that we looked into to evaluate this program, and at the time, basically without me being able to report to the city how much we have spent on this program, I'm not comfortable saying, well, let's continue it. I want to make sure that we get a line item in our budget so that we can say, I'm not going to overspend the city's money. That's very important to me, is I want to make sure that we don't go over our budget. I'm at a lost word. Go over our budget, basically, for a program. With the age of our dog now, the productivity starts to go down. And we look at everything at our department to make sure that one, we're being efficient, one, we're doing the right thing for the animal. And even if we decided to go ahead and continue the program, it would still be probably next budget year before we got the dog, we got the equipment for the dog, we got the new handler for the dog, so.
That's what I worry about. So now it could be 2, 3, 4 years down the road.
No, I wouldn't believe it'd be that long. We could actually do it within probably 6 months to 8 months at the longest if once we decided this is the amount of money we're gonna spend.
DPS did recently add a second dog, right? I believe Trooper Martinez and Trooper Rocha both have dogs in the area, and they live semi-local. I think Anne Marie lives in Canepa and Gumi lives here, right? So they're
Yep,
close.
So we do have, and then BP also offers their canines. And pretty much anybody we call, they're very willing to help. But I can see that y'all are very interested, and I am too.
Well, I mean,
We can start working on that probably as soon as next
Chief,
week.
to be honest with you, it just doesn't make sense to me that you're trying to do away with the program just basically because you don't know what it costs. I mean, we don't know what it's gonna cost to.
Well, that's not the only reason that, and we weren't doing away with the program. We're doing away with this, with Griff right now because of his age. Having him jump in and out of the cars, and he's almost 10 years old, he's got to get up pretty high. He's actually at an age where we would rather retire him than recertify him and invest more money, having him start from scratch. He's old.
Right.
Is he 8 or 10? 9.5, okay. I thought I heard 8 a while ago.
No, I mean, I get it. I understand that this particular animal needs to be retired. My point here is, why don't we have another one already in the realm to get going. Now, and again, I appreciate you being frugal, and you're saying that this gentleman here is the only one that's trained to be able to be a canine handler, and he's not a sergeant. Well, good for him. But we shouldn't be worried about, okay, it's gonna cost us more money right now to bring him out just because he promoted. Because what are we gonna do? We're just gonna constantly be training the new people that are coming on board, not knowing if they're gonna stick around or not in this community, and train them, because that's expensive.
Oh, yeah, very expensive.
This gentleman's been here, how long? 8 years? So how long are you gonna stay? Another 30? You see, there you go. I mean, it just doesn't make sense to me that you're trying, I mean, and I'm glad that you're thinking about maybe, you know, keeping on with it, but later on and this and that, but please just be thinking that when it comes to price, I mean, you want the best candidate working that animal. And I don't care if he's a sergeant or he's the chief of police. Get the right person. And don't be just looking at just money.
And that's not something that we do. So Sergeant Ramos is actually responsible for several different things at our department. So like I said, we look at everything, we evaluate everything, everybody's position. Sergeant Ramos, as he moves up, is going to be responsible for other things, not necessarily is going to be the one that needs to be called out for a search of a vehicle with a drug dog. Griff is a narcotics dog. We don't utilize him for tracking. We don't utilize him for anything other than narcotics. And so as or Sergeant Ramos, I'm sorry, as Sergeant Ramos advances in his career, he is one of the people that we depend on quite a bit. And so he's got other things that he's very responsible for and very capable of, where we could probably utilize a different officer for a canine.
Sure.
That's what we're doing.
Makes sense.
And we'll take a look at this. We'll sit down with the chief and our finance director and see, we can come up with some figures and see what it would take, and
Yeah, we can
maybe.
go back and forth on this all night.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I just want to make a quick comment too, so, we call you Bruce.
Yeah,
He's our brother. And our canine is Griff, so, we rank the dog, not the handler, but, we had this discussion, and we think that if we brought in a new handler, we're gonna go to our subject matter expert.
Right.
We're not gonna make a decision on getting a handler unless Bruce gives them the thumbs up. Sergeant Ramos is gonna leave that legacy of training the next handler. He's done amazing work for our police department, and he's very skilled. He does a lot of other things for us, a lot of new things that we presented to council as well, with our tactical team. He is extremely skilled at that. And that's where we started to utilize him more, and we didn't want to take away from the narcotics program because it's critically important as well. So he will be pivotal in picking the next handler and cross-training and getting them set so that we have the right handler, the right canine, the right fit for the community. We love Griff. Like I said, we don't want him to leave. We want him to see him around the department because, again, he is our therapy dog. We want him to be Bruce's forever partner, from partner to best friend, and that's the item that we brought tonight, is to ask if council would retire him and award ownership to Bruce Ramos.
And the important thing that y'all mentioned is that this community is not gonna be left without a canine handler. We have multiple, so that's good. Mayor, with all that having said, I recommend, that we approve 9A and transfer K-9 Officer Griff to Sergeant Bruce Ramos.
I'll second that.
Motion from Councilman Santos to allow Griff to retire to Bruce Ramos, as second by Councilman Mims. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed?
Members of council, if you may, Sergeant Ramos? Griff? As tradition with anyone who retires, they retire the uniform. So we have, your t-shirt. So, that's all right. So, from best friend, right, from partner to best friend.
Check it
All right,
out.
there's treats in here as outside of that, but, for Sergeant Ramos, this is for you. You can't date my daughter until you marry her. There are lots of treats in here as well. He's got his retirement cup as well. But
Fiesta time.
we do appreciate your service, sir.
Thank you. Congratulations.
Thank you, Bruce.
Thank you.
Good boy, Griff.
Dog is that, do you?
Molinar, right there. Molinar? Belgian, Molinar. On to second new business, item 9B, consider approval of pay request in the amount of $142,599.37 to Albany Stock Contractors LLC for work being performed at US 90 Benson to Grove Project Water Main Replacement.
Mayor, this is just, again, another pay request, number 4. That work is moving right along. We are pricing approximately about 45% complete. As you know, we're getting closer to the Grove Street intersection. Once we get there, it's gonna get pretty hectic. If we think there's traffic along West Main now, it's gonna give even a little bit more. So, we're moving forward, and it is staff's recommendation that we make this payment.
Entertain a motion. Item 9B. Motion by Councilman McLaughlin, second by Councilwoman Medina. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, same sign. Item 10, executive session. Convene an executive session pursuant to Texas Government Code Section 551072, deliberation regarding real property. Item 10B, convene an executive session pursuant to the Texas Government Code Section 551.071, consultation with attorney to discuss settlement of litigation or on a matter in which the duty of the attorney to the governmental body under the Texas disciplinary rules of professional conduct to the State Bar of Texas clearly conflicts with Chapter 551 related to the Robb Elementary School incident on May 24th, 2022. Item 10C, convening an executive session pursuant to the Texas Government Code, Section 551.074, personnel, and Section 551.071, consultation with the attorney to conduct the 6-month performance review of the city manager in accordance with the city manager's employment agreement. Item 10D, convene an executive session pursuant to the Texas Government Code, Section 551.071, consultation with attorney to discuss potential contract claim. Going to executive session at 6:47. We shall return.
Okay, you leaving?
Yes.
You don't feel too good, do you? I don't feel good. Be careful. Take care. Can you drive?
It was nice sitting next to you.
Do we need them?
No. No? We're the quorum, that's it. Yeah.
4 out of 6 are gonna be here, so we've got a quorum.
Break quorums, we just leave.
All right, reconvene from executive session at 7:23. There is no action taken. I entertain a motion for adjournment.
Motion.
We are adjourned at 7:23.
We reconvene at 7:23.
Good job.
Yes.